Hi guys, so my pen name is Deeb-Diary, and I basically just want to go through some exciting things in my life and document it. So I feel like this is gonna hook in a lot of you. So I actually took a university course on boys love, also known as BL. You can think about it as shonen A or yaoi as well. So yeah, you heard that right, a full academic course about BL. So when I told my friends, their reactions were like kind of priceless. Half of them were like, wait, that's a real course? And the other half were like, oh my god, tell me everything. So honestly, they were right to ask, because this course was actually the most unique one I've ever taken. It was kind of fascinating and unexpectedly one of the deepest classes I've ever taken compared to like other courses I've taken, which range from like anthropology, sociology. I've also taken math, so it's like out there. So today I actually want to talk about what the course was like, what we studied, the assignments, and why waking up at 5:30 a.m. every week for 4 months was kind of worth it. So what is BL? Let's talk about it. It stands for boys love. BL stands for boys love, and it's a genre that focuses on romantic or emotional relationships between men. It first started in Japan in the 1970s, growing out of early shonen A manga, and it was mostly written by women for women. Like, that's like major news. It's full of emotional drama, beautiful art, and let's be real, the most over-the-top tropes you could possibly imagine. There's always someone dramatically saying, I could never love you, and then immediately falling in love 5 pages later. Like, make it make sense. So over time, BL went global. You've got Japanese manga, Korean manhwas, Thai dramas, Chinese danmei novels, and of course Western fan fiction. So for example, you've probably heard of AO3. If you've scrolled through, you've probably seen like Harry and Draco, Dean and Cass, or Bakugo and Deku. So congrats, you've actually seen BL adjacent content. The genre is actually everywhere, and it's so influenced modern fandom culture in ways most people don't even realize. So why did I take this course? So here's the thing, I've actually loved BL since middle school. It's like kind of my thing now. So like picture me with a stack of manga and zero understanding of what was happening, but I really loved every minute of it. So I grew up with it, the art, the characters, the emotional roller coasters. So when I found out my university actually offered a course on it, on BL as in, I was like, this was made for me. The only issue was that it was offered at the downtown campus, not the one I'm at. So last year I had heard of it and wasn't able to go, so I had to skip it. But I heard it was being taught one last time, so I had to go for it, you know? So I was already taking the math course downtown that summer, so I thought, what's one more early morning? I'll just wake up at 5:30, get a coffee or like a smoothie or something, and hop on the bus. So no big deal, right? But honestly, it was kind of worth it.
Okay, pause. So it is currently, I think, like 3:10 a.m. or something, but I realized, wouldn't it be just easier to show you all? So here are actually a few clips that I do have. I won't do any commentary, so enjoy.
Main entrance. Entrée principale. Going up. Second floor. Going down.
So continuing on, here's the best part. I actually didn't even have the prereqs, but I wasn't gonna let that stop me. I emailed the department, I emailed the prof, I filled out the professor's form as regarding why you want to take this course, what you like, what are your favorite BLs, like that was in the form. And I explained how passionate I was about the topic and why I wanted to take it, and they were like, sure, take it. The prof was okay with it, and actually when I went to class, a lot of them didn't even have the prereq, so it was like not even just me, it was like a lot of other people. So that's like the biggest takeaway from this whole experience. Never hesitate to ask. You never know, like the worst thing that they can say is no. But if you're genuinely interested, that enthusiasm shows, and I got it. So again, best decision ever. So what we studied. So what do you actually study in a BL course? Like, do we just watch anime and call it a day? No. Well, kind of. Like there might be a few clips shown like before class regarding like a topic we're gonna discuss in the day, and then actually talk topics, you know, not just like watch and that's it, or like read and that's it. No. So we looked at BL through an academic lens. It was gender studies, media studies, and cultural anthropology as well. We talked about how BL represents male-male relationships, but is primarily created by and for women. So there were readings about gender performance, fandom spaces, and how people use fiction to explore identity and desire. So we also compared how BL evolves across countries. So like in Japan, it started as Shonen A, which became yaoi, and now exists in mainstream pop culture even. In Thailand, BL dramas have become massive global exports, part of the country's soft power. In China, danmei novels exist in a really complicated space because of censorship. But the fandoms there are incredibly creative. So every week felt like peeling back another layer of why people love BL and what it tells us about culture. So next up is assignments and projects. So the assignments, they were really actually fun. First off, we got really passionate, created weekly readings and discussion posts. So it's really standard. You can see that in every course you can take. But since it was BL, people got really passionate in discussions and in the posts as well. Then came the presentations. One of them was literally called Present Your Faves. You had to pick a BL manga, anime, drama, anything that you think you like, you know, if it's giving BL, if it's giving. But yeah, you then have to analyze it academically, related to a topic in class with readings and stuff, and you got to gush about it in a way like a true fan, you know? It was part fandom talk and part critical theory, and it was chaos in the best way. So I picked one of my all-time favorites, Sato Suguru. As you can see on my laptop, they are up here. You have to write a paper. Sorry, not a paper. So this was my topic for the all-time faves. And I just did a PowerPoint presentation on like I based it off of a piece of art, because if you were choosing an anime, then you could choose a piece of art and relate it to a topic or topics in class and talk about them, basically. And it was really fun hearing everyone else's picks. Some people went for Thai dramas, others picked historical danmei novels, and there was always someone who presented an anime, which was me, that made the whole class laugh. So we also had a big final project. You had to write a paper. So some people wrote essays on fandom spaces or censorships. Others did it on more creative pieces inspired by BL themes. I ended up doing it on a BL theme, that being the tragic couple trope. You know, you always see it in animes, you always see it in BLs, you always see it anywhere, you know? Like even in straight stuff, there's gonna be tragic couples. And here, since it was a really rare class, you could actually like be yourself academically and creatively. Like you had no limitations, honestly. And that made it really personal. This wasn't just an academic topic, it was something like a lot of us have loved for years, and finally getting to talk about it openly in a classroom was amazing. Even if there were a few tears walking by, looking at our screen, like what are we doing? But it's okay. We did it. Next up is my fave parts. My favorite part though was actually the discussions. So imagine a room full of students. The number was slightly low compared to a normal classroom. It was about 10 to 15 students. And again, this was at 9 a.m. but we were passionately debating over whether a trope can be empowering or problematic. So we could do something like, does this story challenge gender norms or reinforce them, you know? And it was fun, it was nerdy, and it was honestly so refreshing. And then there were some moments where people shared personal stories, like how BL helped them understand their own identity or how it connected them to online fandom spaces during the pandemic. Like that was a huge increase, like a big spike for people when they were like in COVID or just like didn't want to do classes, they would just be on there. Ooh. That was my light. So again, these conversations reminded me why I love the cultural side of things, and because why some of the most niche topics can reveal so much about society and human emotion. Also, having new friends that you can talk about your same likes. So like Alien Stage, like look at this. I will put up the artists over here. Please do check them out. I have so many art prints of them. Please check them out. I love Alien Stage. Look. It's Ivan and Till. Ivan is this one and Till is this one. But yeah, made men. But yeah, it's kind of amazing that you can like talk about these topics with them. Like they know about it because they're also into BL. And you can't talk about it with everyone. So, you know, it was both serious and actually joyful. And exactly the kind of learning experience that sticks with you. So next up is what I learned beyond BL. So the biggest thing I learned was that BL isn't just entertainment, it's cultural. It reflects the challenges of social norms, gender expectations, and how people express desire and identity across the world. So it's not just about romance, it's about how media gives people space to imagine and connect. When we talked about things like censorship in China or how Thai BL dramas affect tourism and representationship, it became clear that this genre has real social power. So yeah, it's kind of fun. It's also political, emotional, and deeply human. So would I recommend it? Next up, the recommendations. So would I recommend this course? 1,000 times yes. Absolutely. Go for it. But again, this was the last time this prof was teaching it, so maybe maybe it's offered somewhere else. But yeah, if you're not a BL fan, I would say still take it. It's an incredible window into the fandom culture, globalization, and identity of men and how women view men sometimes. But if you are a BL fan like me, it feels like coming home. It's like getting to celebrate something you've loved for years, but now with new layers of understanding. Like there's ways we would never have thought about it in other ways. But yeah. So plus, come on, how often do you get graded for writing about your favorite BL manga? So finally, yeah, my end thoughts. That was my summer, taking a university course on boys love. It was kind of weird. Fun, exhausting, and honestly one of the highlights of my degree so far. I would take it again in a heartbeat if there was like a more advanced course. If your school ever offers something like this, take the risk. Send the email, fill out the form, you know? You never know how much it might change your perspective. Would you ever take a BL class if you had the chance? Or what's the most unique course you've ever taken? Tell me in the comments. Okay, wait. Let's pause. Okay, continuing on before this falls again. Would you ever take a BL class if you had the chance? Or what's the most unique course you've ever taken? Tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments. I love reading about stuff like that. And if you want me to do a follow-up video, maybe a breakdown of the BL tropes or my top recommendations, or maybe even, you know, the topics we discussed, hit that button and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.